What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review and an unboxing of MVD Entertainment's Rewind collection, Ghoulies 2, on Blu Ray. So yeah, if you haven't seen the first one already, I did the review of Ghoulies on 4K, plus the Blu-ray that comes with it that MVD Entertainment put out. They sent me this copy as well to check out. Thank you very much, MVD Entertainment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what I think about this movie first, and then I'm going to get into what's in the extras and all the ingredients in this movie after my review. So buckle the fuck up and let's do it. So yeah, Ghoulies 2, man. This was a movie when I was a kid that I used to watch ridiculously a lot. I obviously saw the first one and I kind of gave you my thoughts about that one. Wasn't a huge fan of that one, although a lot of people say that's the best one and this one's not as good, but I guess it's just different age brackets, because for me, Ghoulies 2 was the more ghoulie-centric movie, and it was always the one that I always loved the most because it focused primarily on the ghoulies. Only this time, it's with a different director and a different writer, new scenario. I mean, the writer didn't even watch the first movie, so this is just like a whole new thing altogether. Except they used the similar creatures, the demonic creatures that are the ghoulies. So what is it all about? Well, Ghoulies 2 is a movie about a traveling carnival. In the beginning of the movie, you get introduced to the ghoulies again. Some priest is running from some Satanists, drops them in a vat of toxic waste, and all of a sudden they get on the back of a truck of a spook house attraction at one of the carnivals that's headed to the location. When they open up the spook house, things become a little bit more than just props and silly, scary spook things. No, these actually become killer attractions because people are getting killed, spit on, and all kinds of ridiculous stuff inside of the Satan's Den, the attraction for spook house. And nobody knows it's the ghoulies. So perfect setup, I think, for this movie too, because like this is a movie that didn't really need to be explained from the first one, in my opinion. This one's just kind of like a fresh take. The ghoulies somehow get out, they go out, they cause havoc at a carnival, and nobody's sure if it's real or not. You get a lot of the same characters, you know, the sort of merman, the dog, there's like the cat, the couple of the same ones that you saw in the first one, there's even the flying one. All they did is actually upgrade the puppets, supposedly, but they look bigger to me. Like, these ones look much bigger, much more articulated, much more like fleshed out, and they are done by a different person. Now, I did mention the name John Carl Buechler, which is actually Beekler, by the way. My apologies. My brain, when I'm thinking like about these things off the top of my head, it kind of goes for the worst name instead of the proper name sometimes, so my apologies. Nobody gave me shit either, by the way, but I'm just telling you, I'm sorry, because I always screw that name up because it's spelled so differently. But anyway, they had a new guy work on some of the puppets that were in the first film and upgrade them and turn them into something pretty interesting. Now, this is of course a Charles Band production. He owned this film up until the second one, and then he sold off the movie to I think some Italian company in Rome. This was actually directed by his father, Albert Band, who had done a couple other movies, you know, in his past, but he hadn't done one in a long time, and this was kind of Charles' way of saying, hey, get out there and have some fun, Dad. We also get writers Charlie Dolan? Yeah, who's that? Nobody knows. Not even the actual screenwriter, who is Dennis Paoli, who was also very good friends with Stuart Gordon. They went to school together, they made movies together. Two very different guys that really just had a lot of the same sense of humor and worked on a lot of really cool fucking horror movies like Reanimator, Dagon, From Beyond, even The Dentist. He did many more. In fact, Dennis Paoli's got a new movie coming out that he just wrote that's actually gonna have Heather Graham in it, and it's directed by Joe Lynch, which is really interesting. It looks really kind of interesting and fun and gory, just like Dennis Paoli likes to do, so really looking forward to that. It's coming out on October 27th, and it's called Suitable Flesh, so you should watch the trailer. Maybe I'll include it down below. Anyway, we got a cast of people that you may have seen in other movies, like Damon Martin, who plays Larry, the main sort of like Satan Den young kid who's kind of looking after his Uncle Ned. He was in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Amityville 1992, It's About Time, which is actually a kind of a so bad it's good film in itself. And he was also in Night of the Demons remake. We even get Carrie Remsen, who did Pumpkinhead and was even in After Midnight and A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. One of my personal favorites is Royal Dano, who is in this movie, who's been in a ton of films that I've loved since I've been growing up. And who doesn't love Royal Dano? He's been doing acting since the 50s. And of course, you know, he's no longer with us, but I still appreciate him every time I pop on some horror movies that are some of my favorite. Like House 2, where he plays Gramps. Not everybody's favorite film, by the way, but I still like it. Something Wicked This Way Comes, one of Disney's scary movies that they did that was meant for children, but was kind of dark. And of course, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Pooh Bear!
Where's my Pooh Bear?
We also get famous little person Phil Fondacaro, who has been in everything and a lot of my favorite films as well, including Troll. How could you not love Phil in Troll? He was also in Something Wicked This Way Comes. Willow, Phantasm 2, even the Garbage Pail Kids movie. He played Greaser Greg, but we won't talk about that.
Wanna suck face? No.
Oh, and last but not least, we even get an appearance by Sasha Jensen. That's right, Sasha Jensen from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dazed and Confused, and even Halloween 4. But yeah, there's a lot of people in this movie that you'll recognize, so it feels kind of comfy, and they put a lot of money into it for the practical effects and everything in here. Not one of the goriest movies, but there is a couple of different versions of the film. This one is the PG-13, but it has all the R-rated ingredients on here, so all the deleted scenes that are in R. There was a German version that actually came out that had Part 1, 2, and 3, and I guess the German version has like the rated R cut of Part 2 Ghoulies, and they just took the deleted scenes that are included in here and kind of pieced them together, which I don't know how that works. I don't know how they did it sound-wise or whatever, but yeah, they're in there. They just kind of combine the two, so I'm sure if someone was savvy enough, they could probably do it themselves with this release. But yeah, I actually really enjoy this setting for this movie. It's at a carnival. You got a lot of different like amusement areas that these ghoulies like attack and kill people. Primarily it stays within Satan's Den, this sort of walk around spook house kind of adventure. I kind of loved those when I was a kid. It's just like walking through those or going on the little cart ride where you'd go into the tunnel and then everything would kind of jump out at you. The old spook house rides were like the best at the carnival for me. But this one's also really funny. There's a lot of really kind of silly scenes with the Gremlins sort of esque Ghoulies. I mean, yes, obviously Ghoulies got a little inspiration from Gremlins, but this is definitely more their Gremlins kind of version because they actually are doing a lot of things to kill people as like a show in this Satan's Den. People are getting murdered in front of other people and people don't understand. They think it's all part of the act. This movie flows really well too, in my opinion. Now, like I said, I know there are people that did not like this movie, but I personally think it's a really damn good film, and it has a lot of stuff in it that really kind of, as a child, I really enjoyed. Like, there wasn't like a dull moment in this movie. It just kind of flows really well. It didn't feel like pieced together, kind of like the first one does. It kind of feels like tonality is a little all over the place. This one, start to finish, has a thing, and we even get a scene that kind of does the toilet, let's just say, if you haven't seen it, it does it justice. Which, thank you, Dennis Paoli, for putting that in there. I find it interesting that he didn't actually watch the first one and just kind of went for this one, because he seemed to really kind of grasp the idea of Ghoulies, because this seems like a very fully realized Ghoulies movie. To me, I haven't seen the other ones. I haven't seen 3 all the way through. I've just seen bits and pieces of it. That one seems to be like the really silly one. You know, like, okay, we're just done trying to be a horror movie. We just want to be silly now. And they go to college and it's kind of ridiculous. And then the fourth one is just like they tried to bring back some of the characters, I think from the first movie, and try to piece it together. And it just, I don't know, it didn't work. But this one just feels like the Ghoulies movie. Like, if you're going to watch a Ghoulies movie, this this is going to be the one out of all of them that I really think deserves the most appreciation for Ghoulies. I still like the first one, don't get me wrong, but the second one is really my favorite. Just because I grew up on watching this, I think it was like on Cinemax. There's just memories of that because I remember going, oh, I shouldn't be watching this. But anyway, yeah, I think this one's a really fun one. They get into all the different amusement parks. A lot of the acting roles are really good in here. Really like Phil Fondacaro's role in here. He has like even some kind of sentimental moments in this film that are kind of real, and he did that in Troll as well. He's actually a really good actor, and if you're a fan of it, definitely shout out in the comments. I know people are going to give me shit for this, but for this movie and this independent sort of, and I know it's a bigger budget movie because it costs so much to like really do all of this. They even did the whole amusement park inside of a fucking stage. When you watch this movie, none of that is outside. It's all inside, which I find fascinating. It's cheesy. It's schlocky. It's little creatures attacking people in a PG-13 style movie, but it's just very nostalgic for me. It's just one of those movies that it just stays with me, and I don't know why. This last time just really kind of like reignited that sort of memory of the movie. So, but yeah, I would give this movie probably like a 8 out of 10. You know, like this is like, if you go to watch Ghoulies, this is the one you watch. And I know some people are going to be like 8 out of 10. This is one of those terrible movies. Not to me. I like watching this movie a lot. It's not one of the goriest films. It's not the most, fantastic movies I've ever seen as an 8. But for what it is and what it was trying to achieve, it's definitely, to me, an 8 out of 10. Call that an S-big scale, a so bad it's good scale, or whatever. I just enjoyed it. Now I'm going to go over some of the ingredients on here. Let me know what you think of the franchise and if I should watch the other ones. We got part 3 we might be watching for the Voidtober, which is coming up here. So keep an eye and an ear out. But yeah, let's get into the ingredients. So yes, Ghoulies 2, we get the cover here. It comes with the stickers. They're not real stickers. They're just part of the slip right here that you can get. I'll show you on the video here, of course. Obviously, you get the standard cover, which really is sharp. I think this is my favorite cover of the two because I just like the design in part 2 of the creatures a little bit more. It just seemed to just really feel fully realized here. But I love the little lipstick, and it says they'll get yours in the end, which really pays a lot of homage in here. You get the back. You also get the side and everything. Here's the whole full thing. Now there is an insert that it does have some artwork on the inside, but it's really just for the underside so you can kind of see. It's not a reversible cover. I would keep this one on the front anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We also do get another poster like we did the first one, and it is of the cover as well, which it's a little mini poster, which I love. Gotta love this one. This is great. I'll be putting this up for sure. And of course your disc right here, which nothing too special. I kind of feel like they could have done a little bit more with these discs, but I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to keep it simple. But yeah, that's pretty much everything in here. Now, we got some extras that I'm going to go over with you and tell you all about now, too. So in the extras, we get a lot of stuff here. Like, we get the deleted scenes, which has all the R-rated content in it. So like I said, if you're savvy and you want to piece these two together, have at it, buddy. We also get Under a Magic Moon, an interview with Dennis Paoli. Is a really interesting interview because he kind of talks about his relationship and how he met Stuart Gordon, his, working with Albert Band and Charlie and, everybody at the Empire Pictures. You also get an introduction from Dennis, kind of like just telling you a real quick thing about the movie before it gets started. So like a preface sort of thing. You also get optional English, French, and Spanish subtitles. So you need those. They're there. You get the 2.0 LPCM stereo audio. This is also the high definition, so it's 1080p presentation on 185:1 aspect ratio, which it is a 2K scan of the inner positive overseen by MGM. So you get a theatrical trailer, we get the two-sided artwork, the collectible mini poster, which I mentioned, and the limited edition slipcover, first pressing only, as this is the collector's edition. You do also get another documentary in here. It's called More Toilets, More Terror, The Making of Ghoulies 2, which is a 16-minute kind of thing about it which has Charlie and Charles Band and everybody in there. And it's actually from the Shout Factory release, but they included in here, so that's pretty cool. Kind of has everything in it, plus the new stuff, so that's a good thing. But yeah, overall, this looked really quality. Like the picture quality on this was really great. I didn't notice if it was as different than the other release, but I think it's definitely the better release because it has all the extras plus all the stuff on there. Now, there isn't any backing tracks that you can listen to while watching the movies, which is unfortunate, but you know, there is a wealth of stuff in there that you can check out. I'd say this is a pretty solid release. I'm glad to have sort of an upgrade from the old version, which is the double feature where they pack both movies onto one disc. To be honest, I feel like the movie looks a little bit better because of that, because they don't have to pack as much, you know, like 2 full movies onto one. So it might have better fidelity, but it looked really good to me. The colors all seemed to do really well on it. It wasn't like too washed out or pixelated or anything like that. It looks really good. But yeah, I'm really happy to have this in the collection now. Thank you, MVD, for sending this out. If you want to pick up a copy of these are coming out September 12th. You can pick up the 4K of the first one, and it comes with the Blu-ray Collector's Edition. And you can also pick up this one, all from MVD Entertainment, Diabolic DVD, Amazon. I'll put all the links down below, so if you want to pick up a copy wherever it's more affordable or wherever you want to pick it up, it's down there for you. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming by and spending time with me to talk about these movies. I have a bunch of reviews. If you haven't checked out the first Ghoulies review that I did, please check that out. Hit the like button on the video too, because it really does help me out to reach more people. But thanks for coming by, guys, and as always, long live the void.